Welcome to Simplifying Powers of I. Before you start this, because we're dealing with imaginary numbers, you want to go to your calculator and make sure your calculator is in A plus BI mode. Now let's talk about actually simplifying those powers. If you want to simplify I to the 58th power, if you do go to your calculator, there is an I button on the bottom where the decimal is. It's in little blue. It says I. So you're going to hit second decimal to the 58th power, hit enter, and it reduces to -1. You're going to do the same thing for I to the 75th power. Second decimal to the 75th power. And you get that it reduces to -I. Same thing for the last one. Second decimal to the 109. And you're going to look at that and ask yourself, what the heck does that even mean? So the thing is, your calculator can simplify small powers of I. It can't simplify large powers of I. So instead, we need to use another function on that calculator, which is called IPART. And in order to get to IPART, you're going to hit Math, scroll over to Number, and you're going to choose whatever one IPART is. So let's do it on the calculator. We're hitting Math, we're scrolling over to Number, and we're going down. It's going to calculate the imaginary part. Now that you have IPART, you could plug in I to the 109. And now I'll actually calculate it for you and tell you that it is I. Okay, to be safe, always simplify powers of I in IPART. It just works better. So Math, Number, if you go back and you try the other two examples, such as I to the 75th, you'll still get the same exact answer. So your calculator doesn't always calculate it right. To be safe, always use IPART. Now, there are some good ones that you should always know and remember. For example, we know that I to the 0 power is going to be 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1, right? 2 to the 0 power is 1, 5 to the 0 power is 1. And then you should know that I to the first, obviously, I to the first is going to be I. I squared, it will help you to remember that I squared is going to be -1, and that I to the third power is going to be -I. Again, you don't have to remember these. You can always put it in IPART in your calculator to reduce the power. However, these four come up so frequently, if you remember them, you'll save time later on. So let's work on simplifying expressions. With these, first of all, if you're multiplying, right, numbers with exponents, the rule is when you multiply numbers, you add the exponents. So this is really I to the 4 plus 9 plus 3 plus 0 power, which is I to the, let's see, 4 plus 9 plus 3 is going to be 16. And then you're going to use IPART, I to the 16th. So Math, Number, scroll down to IPART, second decimal, I to the 16th, and we get that this is equivalent to 1. Now what you don't want to do is put all of this into your calculator at once, because remember, sometimes if you have larger powers, your calculator won't be able to handle that. And you can't put all that into IPART at once, because you can't put addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division in IPART. IPART does not work for operations. So again, for the next one, you can't put all of this into the calculator at once because you can't put operations into IPART, and your exponents might be too large for your calculator to handle without IPART. So we're going to do it all individually. You're going to do what is IPART of I to the 10. So math, number, we have IPART to the 10th power. You get that that is going to simplify to -1. And then you're going to do this 2 more times. And then let's bring down the rest of the equation. So now that we simplified each power of I individually, you're going to combine like terms and solve. You know that -1 plus 1 is 0, so they cancel each other out. You're going to be left with -I plus x is equal to 0, and you solve for x. You get that x is equal to I. So just remember, anytime you have I to a power, be safe, reduce it into IPART first, and then continue on with the rest of your problem.